And good morning. Thanks so much for joining us here on Virginia This Morning. I'm Cheryl Miller. Our first guest today is the author of best-selling books for both adult and young adult readers. As a sports columnist for the New York Daily News and host of his own show on ESPN Radio, he's proven that he can speak to sports fans of all ages. We're pleased to welcome Mike Lupica to Richmond and to Virginia this morning. Good morning, Mike.
Cheryl, thank you so much for having me.
You're very welcome. When I was doing a little research, I was amazed at how many books you've actually written.
I think Fantasy League is my 30th book. About 18 of them have been for young adult readers, and that's been over the last 10 years. It's been an unbelievable change in my career.
One of the things I noticed is you write kind of your young adult books for middle schoolers, and most of your characters are around 12 years old. So are you channeling your inner 12-year-old?
My first book, which changed my life, Travel Team, came out 10 years ago next month. And after it became a huge bestseller, my wife Taylor said to me one day, you know, honey, you writing from inside the mind of a 12-year-old seems like pretty much a perfect fit as far as, she said, it's nice now that you can use your immaturity to help the family.
That 12-year-old boy seems to live in every man that I know.
No, Cheryl, when I first, in Charlie Gaines, the star of Fantasy League, as a 12-year-old, it was amazing because I had no preparation or plan to write this kind of book. It came out of something that had happened in the lives of my children. But writing inside that voice and looking at the world that day just seemed like and all of a sudden I was writing the kinds of books that I wanted to read when I was a kid about loyalty and teamwork and friendship.
And you kind of can channel that because you've been there, and you were telling me that you're so surprised that reading these books has kind of changed the lives of the young people who are reading them.
Yeah, again, I had no plan to do this. One of my kids got cut from a team for being too small. I took all the kids who got cut. I started a team of my own and had a great experience. But when I go around the country, and I will be all around the country with this book, when I see kids coming to these talks, holding their copies of these books, and I'll say to them, we're not talking about video games tonight, we're not talking about Instagram, we're not talking about text messages, we're talking about reading and writing, and with all the stuff that kids can do now that I couldn't do as a kid, all the technology in the palm of your hand, I tell them we're exactly the same because we still love a good story. And there's nothing greater still than page 1, chapter 1 of a book you want to read. To me, that's the greatest magic of all still.
And you've created this young man, Charlie Gaines, who kind of makes himself a little hero.
Yeah, and it's, you know, usually in my books, it's somebody who's going to win the big game with his talent as an athlete. Charlie's not a very good football player, but it's his brain and his passion for football and his genius at fantasy football, which, like, has overwhelmed the lives of my sons the way it has, like, 30 million other people. And all of a sudden, he starts making a few suggestions about the pro football team that I brought back to LA in this book. His best friend is the granddaughter of the guy who owns the team. And a couple of suggestions work. And then the world finds out that a 12-year-old has become like the de facto general manager of a pro football team, and that really starts off the action of the book.
You tell a great story in your books, but you also tell some life lessons for the young people who are reading them. You know, questions they might have in their lives. Middle school, that age is really, really tough. And in this book, you tackle things like academic excellence versus sports excellence, and girls who can be interested in sports, and you look at father-son relationships. You kind of look at a lot of things kids might be questioning at that age.
Cheryl, I have 4 children of my own. I have 3 sons and a daughter. My daughter's 15 now. She pretty much runs our family on her way to her ultimate goal, I think, of world domination. I tell kids all the time, if you start reading one of my books, you know the character's going to get knocked down. And I said, anybody can get knocked down. It requires no talent, no imagination, no character. But it's how you get back up that shows the world all of those qualities. And hopefully by the end of a book like this, it'll make you stand up and cheer. I tell kids all the time, there's nothing more important than being known as a good friend. Every part of my book starts with friendship. You want to be known as a good friend. You want your friends to be able to count on you. And these books are, again, about loyalty and friendship. And Anna and Charlie, I have to write good girls. If I don't write good girls in these books, my life becomes extremely unmanageable at home.
Between your wife and your teenage daughter.
Yeah, no, it's really, you don't want to know. It gets very, very bad. But at the heart of this book are two friendships. One between Charlie and the old man who owns the team, because his dad has left. And the other one is Charlie and Anna, because boy, they go toe to toe, because she thinks and believes that she knows as much about football as he does.
One of the nice things about the whole young adult genre now is that a lot of adults are reading these books as well, because we can remember back when we had this moment in our life when we were that age, and we can share that experience with the young people who are reading the books.
Cheryl, I used to tell every team I ever coached as a youth coach, before every game, I'd gather the players around. I said, look up in the stands. See all those adults up there? Every one of them would change places with you and be your age and have one more game to play on a Saturday afternoon or a Friday night. I said, so you got to appreciate what we're going to get to do over the next hour and a half. These books are written in that spirit.
Enjoy it while you can. Mike Lupica, thank you so much for joining us
today.
today.
Thank you for letting me talk about my book.
You're very welcome. Let's tell people where they can meet you. Mike Lupica will be out later today at BBGB Books at Carytown at 4 o'clock. And thanks for stopping by. The book is called Fantasy League. It is available now.